It starts with a single, simple concern. You approach someone in your life, a partner, a friend, a family member, to address a minor issue. You are calm. You have practiced what you are going to say. You simply want to establish a small boundary or express a basic need. But within 60 seconds, the entire landscape of the conversation shifts. You are suddenly hit with an absolute avalanche of words. Before you can even finish your sentence, they are bringing up a mistake you made 3 years ago. They are questioning your tone. They are psychoanalyzing your intentions. They are playing the victim, then pivoting to attack your character, and then changing the subject entirely. You feel a sudden, physical sensation of dizziness. Your heart rate accelerates. A thick key rolls into your brain, completely wiping out your short-term memory. You cannot even remember what the original argument was about. You find yourself frantically trying to defend yourself against 10 different accusations at once, stumbling over your words, desperately trying to catch your balance in a hurricane of their making. You leave the conversation completely drained, feeling like the villain, and you end up apologizing just to make the noise stop. Society tells you that you just have poor communication skills. They tell you that you need to be a better listener, or that relationships just require compromise. But you are not failing at communication. You are being subjected to a highly sophisticated, deeply manipulative tactic known as emotional overload. And until you learn how to recognize it, you will spend the rest of your life apologizing for fires you did not start. Act 1. The biology of flooding. To understand why you feel so incredibly paralyzed in these moments, we have to look past the psychology and examine the raw biology of your nervous system. In clinical psychology, there is a concept identified by Dr. John Gottman known as diffuse physiological arousal, more commonly referred to as flooding. When you are faced with a massive, rapid influx of negative emotional data, like someone shouting, changing subjects rapidly, or launching a relentless character attack, your body perceives it as a mortal physical threat. Your heart rate violently spikes above 100 beats per minute. Your body immediately dumps cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream. But here is the most critical part of the biological equation. When your heart rate crosses that threshold, the language processing centers of your brain completely shut down. Your prefrontal cortex, the area of your brain responsible for logic, rational debate, and memory retrieval, goes entirely offline. Your brain literally reroutes its power to the primitive survival centers. You physically lose the ability to process complex thoughts, formulate logical arguments, or even comprehend what the other person is saying. You are reduced to a biological state of pure fight, flight, or freeze. You feel confused and foggy because your brain is actively pulling the plug on your cognitive functions to prepare your body to run from a predator. This is why you can never think of the right thing to say in the moment. But 3 hours later, when you are standing in the shower and your heart rate has normalized, you suddenly have the perfect, articulate, logical response. Your prefrontal cortex has finally turned back on. Emotional overload is not a metaphor. It is a literal, physiological system failure, and the manipulator standing across from you is counting on it. Act 2. The kitchen sink. Tactic. Healthy human beings enter into an argument to resolve a conflict. They want to address the issue, find a compromise, and restore the peace. But a highly toxic or manipulative person does not enter an argument to find a resolution. They enter an argument to establish dominance, avoid accountability, and exhaust you into submission. To do this, they use a tactic called kitchen sinking. When you bring up a valid criticism, a healthy person will address that specific point. A manipulator will throw everything but the kitchen sink at you. If you tell them that they hurt your feelings yesterday, they will immediately pivot. They will bring up a time you hurt their feelings 5 years ago. They will complain about how your family treats them. They will criticize the way you manage your finances. They will attack your tone of voice, claiming that you are yelling when you are speaking perfectly calmly. They create a massive, chaotic smokescreen of irrelevant information. In the world of cybersecurity, there is a type of attack called a DDoS attack, a distributed denial of service. Hackers will flood a website with so much fake traffic and so many simultaneous requests that the server becomes completely overwhelmed and crashes. Kitchen sinking is a psychological DDoS attack. The manipulator is intentionally flooding your cognitive server. They are throwing so many false narratives, half-truths, and emotional accusations at you that your brain simply cannot process the data. They know that if they can keep you scrambling, if they can keep you defending yourself against random, irrelevant attacks, you will completely forget the original thing they did wrong. They are hiding their lack of accountability inside a labyrinth of chaos. And every time you try to defend yourself against one of their random accusations, you are playing right into their hands. Act 3, word: salad and the illusion of guilt. As the emotional overload intensifies, the manipulator will often deploy their most maddening, reality-breaking weapon, the word salad. Word salad is a conversational tactic where the manipulator talks in endless, dizzying circles. They use complex sentences that actually mean absolutely nothing. They contradict themselves in the exact same breath. They confidently state that a conversation from yesterday never happened, or they claim that you said something you know for a fact you would never say. They relentlessly project their own toxic behavior onto you. If they are the ones screaming, they will look you dead in the eye, lower their voice, and ask why you are being so aggressive. If they are the one lying, they will suddenly accuse you of being deceptive. This breaks your reality. You spend massive amounts of energy just trying to establish a shared baseline of basic truth. You find yourself saying things like, "Wait, that is not what I said," or "How did we even get on this topic?" But they do not care about the truth. The chaos is the point. The confusion is the entire goal. When your brain reaches maximum capacity, when you are fully flooded and emotionally bankrupt, your nervous system demands an escape route. Because you cannot out-logic them and you cannot reason with them, your primitive brain defaults to the path of least resistance. You submit. You apologize for things you did not do. You accept the blame for the entire situation just to make the relentless barrage of words stop. You walk away feeling incredibly guilty, questioning your own sanity, and carrying the heavy weight of their mistakes on your own shoulders. This is the ultimate victory for the manipulator. They not only successfully avoided taking responsibility for their original actions, but they also conditioned you to believe that you are the problem. They have successfully programmed you to fear bringing up your needs because your nervous system now knows that doing so will result in an agonizing, exhausting 3-hour debate that ends with your own apology. Act 4. Dropping the shield. How do you defeat an opponent who uses chaos as their primary weapon? How do you win a game where the rules change every 30 seconds? You stop playing the game. To survive emotional overload, you must execute a profound, uncompromising shift in your conversational strategy. You must realize that you are not obligated to catch every weapon they throw at you. When someone starts kitchen sinking, when they start bringing up the past, projecting and spinning word salad, your immediate biological instinct is to pick up your shield and defend your character. You want to correct their false narratives. You want to logically prove that you are a good person. You must drop the shield. In psychology, the ultimate defense against this manipulation is known as the gray rock method. When a manipulator tries to overload you with emotional data, you become as uninteresting, unresponsive, and unmovable as a gray rock. You must memorize the acronym JADE. Do not G-ustify. Do not A-G. Do not D-offend. Do not E-explain. When they accuse you of something completely ridiculous just to derail the conversation, do not take the bait. Do not spend 20 minutes explaining why they are logically wrong. Look at them with a blank expression, let a heavy, uncomfortable silence fall over the room and say, "We are not talking about that right now." If they continue to push, if they escalate the chaos to try and force a reaction out of you, you must physically remove yourself from the environment before your nervous system reaches the point of flooding. You do not ask for permission to leave the conversation. You do not wait for them to pause to take a breath. You stand up, keep your voice entirely flat, and say, "This conversation is no longer productive. I am walking away." And then you leave the room. Act 5. The power of the unbothered mind. They will hate this. They will accuse you of running away. They will call you a coward. They will try to text you a massive multi-paragraph continuation of the argument to drag you back in. Let them scream into the void. You cannot force a toxic person to communicate healthily, but you have absolute, uncompromising control over your own participation in their chaos. By refusing to engage with their emotional overload, you are starving them of their primary resource, your distress. Manipulators rely on your frantic energy. They rely on your desperate human need to be understood. When you strip that away, when you refuse to defend yourself against absurd accusations, their words lose all their power. They are just throwing punches at the wind. It is time to stop exhausting yourself in a desperate attempt to reason with people who are absolutely committed to misunderstanding you. You do not need to prove your sanity to someone who is actively trying to drive you crazy. The next time the avalanche begins, the next time the word salad starts spinning and the accusations fly, take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Monitor your own heart rate. Recognize the psychological DDoS attack for exactly what it is. Do not justify. Do not defend. Do not explain. Embrace the profound, terrifying silence of the gray rock. Let them drown in their own manufactured chaos and calmly walk away with your peace completely intact.